events, you know, you know, what geography do we reach out to, which I'm guessing is like Western Tennessee, Northeast Arkansas, you know, just basically, you know, what's your objective for the year? Well, increasing tourism, okay, but that's like, well, how are we gonna do that? You know, or is there a goal? We wanna have, you know, X number more visitors this year, or we wanna add, you mentioned we don't have as many events as we used to. Well, you know, are there more events we could do? Or what's the limiting factor in that? Are people in the town not participating, you know, or coming up with ideas, you know, just like a little deeper dive. I mean, I think, you know, we're doing fine with the events we have in town are really good. We have people come in from out of town, like look at Small Town Christmas, what a great event that is, and how it's grown in only the second year, and Fall into Arts, the JC's event, those are all good events. I'm just thinking from my background in marketing and everything, you know, just a little different expectation, and maybe I don't really understand as well what the chamber's role is either, so.
Anyone have any other questions?
Well, I have, would it be possible for you to come back and give us a one-page summary this week that we could then put on for the agenda for the next time, so the council could read that and then vote on it if we postpone it?
I mean, I can provide that before the next meeting, certainly.
I'd be happy to help you with that, so see what we can put on it then.
But we have all that information and everything lined out. It's just getting that into one document, which is different from
Okay.
what you have.
I'd be interested in seeing, like Lisa brought up, what the sales tax revenue went up per event. Basically per
Yes.
dates, you know what I mean? Like, is this event, is our sales tax going way up or down, or we just thinking it is for the money we're spending? I don't really know how I'm saying that, but basically weekend, or you couldn't do it monthly because September's gonna be crazy, but
It'd be a
I'd like
lag
to see
time.
that week to week,
You have a-
basically.
Well, you have a lag, you know, reported monthly is what the state is.
Yes.
And if a lag, we're lagged behind a month.
Then you've got to see the sales tax go down.
It's not always fair. It's not always true every month either, because a lot of businesses report quarterly instead of monthly. A lot do
Yeah.
monthly, but that was a figure we dealt with a lot on
We could do a little
The most applicable figure would be to look at the lodging tax numbers. That was the original main goal of this. These funds come from the lodging tax. The idea is that will bring in transient guests that will then replenish that fund. Those are reported monthly, which we keep track of as well with the chamber. So we can look at those and see if we have any types of just hotel guests that weekend.
Oh, that would be helpful, I think, because I remember for the eclipse, it was kind of sold out months in advance, which was fascinating, you know? And maybe just a calendar of events, you know, each month, what's happening that will be promoted.
it.
I can provide that.
I'm sure some months are slower, but, you know.
Well, it sounds like we're going to postpone, and it's come back to the council next meeting, schedule it for the old business section. Okay, we'll do that. We'll postpone.
If we want to keep things on track, I will need to request allocation for Q1 ads. That will be, I'll have to submit that before the next council meeting.
Q1, like
For Q1 ads with the state of Missouri Net grant.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be our fall full-page advertisement in Show Me Missouri magazine, highlighting Fall into Arts and Kennett Cruisers, our two main fall events there. So we're requesting $675. That's half of the cost of the amount of the ad. Full cost is $1,350, and the other half is being paid for by the state, of course.
And that's separate from anything in the contract.
Yes, this
I'm
is
just
separate.
letting you all know that that's separate.
And then from the tourism marketing tax.
Yes.
I'd like that motion.
That-
Motion and second.
Who was that?
Carter.
Carter, okay,
Swan.
thank you. And Kevin, you were second, okay. Mr. Swain?
We have discussion.
To what?
To
Only I would ask that
approve this.
when you do that, let's just bring it back to the council so they have it. a copy of what they approved.
Oh, what the ad actually looks like?
Yes, sir. Oh, just for visual.
Okay.
Leave it.
I'll note on that too, every time we bring that to you for reimbursement, I provide Jan with a copy of that ad, so, everything that we do should be on file.
I thought we're down, it's just to want to see what's going out there.
Mhm. Fair enough.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, motion approves.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, sir. Item B is Kennett Police Department salary analysis.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor. We had talked at some length about having an additional $1 per officer in the police department, and that would come back from the money that we got from the 911 money that we talked about before. I'd asked the chief to prepare a study with our comparable cities to show where we stood on that. He's included that in this packet, and I'll ask him to go through it now.
First of all, I want to thank Ms. Dry for her work. She put this in a simple spreadsheet for you. I want to appreciate you taking that time to do that. As you can see, we've fallen way behind. When I say way behind, we're about the second lowest paid department in this area. It makes my job a lot harder in recruiting and maintaining police officers here. And anytime we can offer something that maybe other towns aren't offering, it makes us a little bit more attractive. So that, with us falling behind and having a big difference like that, we are asking for another $1 an hour raise to help with that.
And what that does is put us in line with the other cities. Also, the county, it puts us in line with what the county deputies make also. They're ahead of us, and that other $1 will put us maybe 20 cents, 30 cents ahead of what their annual salary is. So, and then that's part of what I explained when we did the dispatch from the city over to the county.
Is this for full-time employees, all full-time or all?
We've got 21 full-time people right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
for
we're trying-
the full-time, or you including part-time?
We did not include part-time in this.
Okay, I just want
Does he need to be added to, I know there's a salary cap for him.
For him, I had to talk to him about that. Again, we did not discuss part-time. We probably need to. I don't want to do him more harm than good by doing that.
I was just making sure.
We can bring that back after we discuss it to him. There's a certain amount that he can make.
Right.
So we need to discuss that to him, and if we need to, we'll bring that back on an individual basis.
And this is
For an
effective
increase.
immediately.
Yeah, is that okay with you, Mr.?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow that exactly. Say that.
We have one officer that's part-time.
Yes.
He can only make so much money per year. And so.
At his request.
At his request.
Yes.
And so we would like to give an increase, but if that's gonna affect him, he may not accept it. And so we need to talk with him first, and if he can accept the increase, we'll bring that back to the council on the next meeting and approve it.
Would that mean as an individual item with that person or the whole thing?
Individual.
Okay.
Everything else will be approved this evening.
Okay, we'll check on
Only for
that.
one person.
Yep. Okay, and I'd like to summarize this a little bit. We use these 12 cities, and we talked about what's similarly situated nearby population, but the high was, on an annual salary, was $56,000, the low was $39,000, and the average was $46,000. That's an average pay. What happens is we're now at $42,000, and even with this $1, it brings us up to $44,000, which is still below the average, but at least it's getting close. That ends up being about a 10% increase for each one of the officers. As I've told the council before, one of the things about this is, once you give this, you can't, it's not an annual thing, you can't take it back again. It's not like buying vests, where we buy vests this year, and if we don't have it in the budget next year, we don't buy it. Once we put this in the budget, we're kind of obligated to keep that in it forever. Now, as I talked to Mr. Pels about it, well, what's gonna happen next year? Other cities are gonna be raising it, and what do we do then? Well, as Mr. Pels said, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what's gonna happen, but all we can do is deal with what we've got now, and at least this makes it right for now, and we'll see what happens with the police departments and sheriff departments in the coming years.
Well, it might keep us from having to be a training ground for all the other places, because we have people that leave for $1 or $2 an hour.
And just for informational purposes for the citizens, this is considered a budget neutral item. This is, the proceeds, or the money from potential raise would come from the savings we're getting off the 911 contract from what we appropriated for.
So there is no additional money from the taxpayer that has to go into these increases. So it's nothing extra cost for them.
It's just smart business. We was able to negotiate a good price, save money for citizens.
We need a motion.
We would need a motion.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Multiple seconds, pick
Who
your,
gave the second first?
I heard Gaddis first.
Okay, Mr. Gaddis, thank you.
Motion to approve.
Yes, sir.
Motion from Swain. Mr. Swain, Mr. Gaddis. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes.
Click
on it, he's had to touch it, he should have done it.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, we're gonna have to change this whole.
We're in the
Yeah, all right.
second, we're in the second
Can we
week.
clarify that?
Let me be clear.
Make this effective immediately?
Effective immediately.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're in the second week, you know, this starts the second week of our payroll, so they would start it with this week's pay
Yes.
for the next payroll. So
Okay.
1 week would
Yes.
increase, okay, that's one.
Or is it effective, is that the same as being effective with the current budget year, which is starting July 1? Did that work out to be the same? Okay.
One pay change.
Okay.
Yes, it's just that we're in the second week of this pay period, so the first week, we didn't have that raise, but the second week of that pay period, they will have that raise.
So starting out on a new budget year though.
Yes, sir, starting on the new budget year.
And on behalf of the police department, we greatly appreciate that.
Yes, I want to thank every one of y'all for your support. I know you guys greatly appreciate it, and I know I do. Thank you.
Well, folks, we come to the spot on the agenda that we all look forward to sometimes.
Adjourn.
Anything else when you bring up for the next meeting? Since not any, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.